Hey, welcome to my channel. I'm Amber, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my weekly wrap-up of all the things that I have read and I'm currently working on. And this week I actually did finish something, but it was nothing that I talked about in the previous video. So yeah, I am currently reading 2 books, and I think only one of them I may have possibly talked about in the previous video. So let's just talk about what I did finish. And I finished All Senses Read by Martha Wells. This is the first book in the Murderbot novella series, and I think I really needed something like this because it was short, it was fast-paced, action-packed, and it was a lot of fun to read. So I don't know how to describe this novella without really spoiling like everything, but as Murphy Napier described it, it's a assassin robot that would rather watch soap operas all day. And I think that did it all. That really hooked me when she said that, and that's what motivated me to pick it up this week. And thankfully, Scribed has all of the books, I think, so I'm looking forward to continuing on throughout this month, the rest of the last 4 novellas. I know there's a standalone novel that is set in the world. I don't know if it is if it's Murderbot being the protagonist of that book, but I will read basically anything now, I think, from this author, especially from this year, if anything is in this world. So really enjoyed it. I'm keeping it vague because it's really short, and I loved this crew so much. And I did try to like start the next one, and I think I and I stopped because I needed some space between, because I was really sad that we weren't going to be back with the crew. At least that's what it seems like. So we shall see what happens. I just really loved that crew so much because, yeah. But gave the book 5 stars. I do think I need to read the physical book because the narrator was male, and I didn't like that because I identified Murder Robot as at least in a female body. It's just that's how I saw them in my head. So it was a little weird hearing a male voice coming out at me. But I don't know if I should really rate the audiobook itself lower for that, because that's just on me. It's how I heard Murderbot in my head. Like, that's how I saw them. But yeah, so I gave this 5 stars. I will definitely read the physical book at some point and see if that solidifies me in one way or another when it comes to how I visualize Murderbot. Moving on to what I'm currently reading. The first one is Just Mercy by Bryan Stevenson. This is a nonfiction about him working in a legal practice that he ends up founding the Equal Justice Initiative, a legal practice dedicated to defending those most desperate and in need, the poor, the wrongly condemned, and women, children trapped in the farthest reaches of our criminal justice system. And this book, I believe the whole book is centering around this one case, around his first case of Walter McMillian. And I'm pretty sure he does talk about other cases he works on it throughout, maybe. But I definitely think that for right now, that this book centers mainly on Walter McMillian. Maybe, am I wrong about this? I would like to know, because I keep going back and forth about if it's going to be more than just him, or if it centers on him. What? I do know that the movie is all about that one case. So, yeah. Looking forward to continuing on with this. I've been listening to the audiobook alongside reading the physical book, and it's been really helping me keep my focus on this book and just being able to concentrate more better with it, because my mind can just, especially when it comes to intense things or just a lot of information coming at me, sometimes it just makes it hard for me to digest all of it. So I'm not trying to rush this. I want to enjoy this, not enjoy it, but I want to be able to get something out of it. I feel like enjoy is the wrong way to say that, but yeah, looking forward to just continuing on and learning more about our criminal justice system and how problematic and racist it is. I've already seen a lot of that through this book. One of the other books I want to get to at some point, or at least sooner than later, is The New Jim Crow. And I'm thinking, because I think that talks about the criminal justice system too. There's other books that I'm like totally losing track of the books that I want to read that deal with, especially with that deals with the criminal justice system, because it's something that I've never really noticed about. So definitely feel like it's important to like learn more about that. So 66 pages in, read 3 chapters so far, rather listened mostly, and so far so good. I'm really liking the writing style, and the narrator of this book is Bryan Stevenson, so that's even like that's a bonus to this for me. So the last book that I'm reading, I think it's kind of like a nice like balance of heavy to light, and it's Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. This is the first book in the Percy Jackson series. I think there's 5 books in Percy Jackson, and right now I am 42 pages in. I've read 5 chapters of this so far. This is the illustrated edition, and I thought there was at least 2 illustrated editions out of this series, but apparently not. Are we going to get another one? I don't know. But either way, I'm really enjoying this. I did actually pick it up like maybe like 2 or 3 years ago and wasn't enjoying it, so I just stopped reading it. And in picking it up again, I'm actually enjoying it now. Percy Jackson is sarcastic, which is something that you don't get in the movie. I actually did watch the movie before reading the book, because I wasn't really interested in the book. I wasn't really interested in YA in general. I still am not. By the way, I don't read YA that much. I have issues with YA in a lot of areas, but when a YA or middle grade book hits the mark, it hits the mark, and right now it's hitting the mark for me. So yeah, Percy Jackson is very sarcastic, or just, he has a sharp wit, and he just, it's so funny. Like, I like really like how it starts. It says, "Look, I didn't want to be a half-blood. If you're reading this because you think you might be one, my advice is close this book right now. Believe whatever lie your mom or dad told you about your birth, and try to lead a normal life." I just like really loved how it started. It really hooks you in, and I am just enjoying so much the reading experience of this. I think this starts off middle grade. I don't know if it does like that other series I'm thinking about, where it starts off middle grade and then turns more into YA. But otherwise, it doesn't really matter to me. I'm just really enjoying the reading experience, and this is illustrated, so I'm really enjoying the illustrations. I'm trying to find one that's like I don't know if you can see that with the light, but it's just brilliant. So we've just got into the camp, and Percy Jackson has been introduced to several people, been introduced to his teacher, who is not what he thinks, and it's just so good so far. Definitely 10 times better than the movie already. I'm not going to talk about it, but yes, really enjoying this. So these are the 2 books that I will be working on through this week. I will probably be working on the next book in the Murderbot series towards the end of this week. I'm hoping to get back into reading some more of my own books. I really need to get through my own books. So I have 3 books that are in transit on their way to me from the library. All first books in a series. What? You know, like crazy. So we're just going to like hope that I can find a way to balance those out with the books that I have on my shelves that I need to read and want to read. So yes, I would love to hear your thoughts on any of the things that I talked about today. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time.